Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, I am Randy Glish. I am the Oregon Village President. Couple months into that. So welcome to the Oregon Allies second annual Stand Up and Lean In event. A day out in Oregon. This event is about learning, listening, and acting to support our LGBTQIA plus community. And I don't know if many of you know, maybe you know, as the village president, I'm part of that community. So, yeah, so my partner and I have been together for 28 years. I came out about 40 years ago, believe it or not. 40 years ago. So one of the things I wanted to say is that when I ran for village president, one of my priorities was that I always wanted to make sure that everybody felt welcome in this village. Everybody. And until somebody else is village president, that's the way it's going to be for me. So that's a promise I have for you. So when I was thinking about this event, I just jotted down a couple things. For me, this event is about our community coming together as one community. This event is about acceptance, supporting, and celebrating. And so I hope we do a lot of that today, celebrate. And then lastly, for me, this event is being proud of who we are. And I think that's, for me, the one most important thing. So that's sort of my intro. Nobody wants to listen to elected officials, so I wanted to be really quick. But I was told, one important, the village hall, the bathrooms are open. That's probably the most important thing you want to know. So we have a good list of speakers, so we're going to get right to it. And the first speaker is Kristen Whitson, and she's right behind me.
Hi. This is so exciting to see in Oregon. I'm so impressed by how many rainbows there are. That's amazing. Hi, I'm Kristen. I live here with my wife Gia, who's over there, and for the past 6 years, yeah, she deserves a round of applause. For the past 6 years, I have helped raise her 2 kids, so I was asked to come here and speak today a little bit about the experience of being a queer parent. But before I get into that, first, I want to acknowledge and help us remember that we are standing on land where once Kickapoo and Ho-Chunk peoples lived. The Ho-Chunk have lived here and are still here since time immemorial, despite decades of ethnic cleansing and genocide. Many indigenous communities, including the Ho-Chunk, have revered and honored LGBTQ plus people, often called Two-Spirits or Two-Spirit people, in their own ways. So I would encourage all of you to read up on various indigenous nations' historical treatment of queer people before European colonization. You will probably find that homophobia and transphobia are often products of settler colonialism. So, here's the main thing I want to share with you about being a queer parent. We are literally the family next door in this community. Like literally, we live like a mile that way. We're at Firefly 3 times a week. We're parents who have hopes and dreams and fears and wishes for our kids. Being a queer parent in practice is pretty much the same as being a straight parent. We nag our kids to do their homework and their laundry. They cuddled with us when they were little, and now they slam the doors now that they're teenagers. We try to raise them to be good humans, and I think we're doing okay. Inside our home, queer parenting looks about the same as straight parenting. Love our kids and do the best we can. We want the same things for our family as any other family: safety, opportunities, and human rights. Here's where our experience is a little bit different. I spend Monday and sometimes Thursday mornings in June waiting to hear from the Supreme Court of the United States what rights we'll have or not have based on their decisions. In June 2015, one of those decisions gave us the right to marry. In June 2020, one of those decisions guaranteed that we would not be discriminated against in our jobs for being queer. This month, I'm waiting to hear if the government can or is required to discriminate against same-sex parents in the Fulton v. Philadelphia case, if anyone's interested. And there are far-reaching implications in the results of that case. Our marriage and family rights can be overturned in a way that straight families, straight parents don't often have to think or worry about, but it's on my mind every day. Our kids are ages 19 and 15. Our 15-year-old is transgender. He couldn't join us today, but he has generously given us permission to share any part of his journey. So I will tell you that parenting a trans kid, as many of you know, is the same as parenting a straight kid in lots of ways. A trans kid has to do his laundry and his homework also. But we fear for the world that he's entering, especially in a political climate in which transgender kids hear their rights debated in state legislatures. Parenting a trans kid means thinking far ahead about anywhere we're going on any particular day and researching to see where the gender-neutral bathrooms are. So it was hugely helpful when Firefly put in gender-neutral bathrooms. So if anybody from Firefly is here, thank you. Like, that's a practical, everyday thing that makes a difference in the lives of people who are raising transgender kids. Parenting a trans kid means thinking carefully about what situations we're taking him into and if we need to run interference for him. Not because we have to shelter him, but because it's our job to protect him and keep him safe. You all know this. We and our kids are not asking for any special rights. We just want the same rights as everybody else. We want to be married. We want to raise our kids. We want to raise our chickens and our gardens. We want to feel safe in our community. And we feel pretty safe here in Oregon. This event is incredible. But that's not the case everywhere and for every person. And a lot of society has yet to catch up to what I think we already know and understand. So what can we do? So many of you are already doing the work. Thank you. Events like this, groups like Oregon Allies make such a big impact on raising the awareness of LGBTQ plus experiences. It may feel a little surprising to some of us here, but there are still so many people who have not heard of these experiences or have misconceptions about what it means to be a queer parent or have transgender kids. Lots of times, those who know about the LGBTQ plus community may not actually know families that include those identities. So your work, our work, is to meet those people who don't know us yet, right where they are, and to teach them who we are. Dispel misconceptions, answer questions, share research and information, become a teacher to those without the knowledge. If every person here can reach a couple more people, we're going to keep changing the world. And I think we're going to change the world faster than they can legislate against us. Thank you. This is great.
All right, thank you, Kristen. Next up, we have Kay.
Hi everyone, my name's Kay and I'm here as a former Oregon SD student who graduated in 2013 and is non-binary and bisexual. And I wanted to talk about a bit of the community backlash against all the policies that the school is implementing and what it means to someone who didn't have those policies when they went to Oregon. The most they taught us about the LGBT community is an offhanded mention that like gay people exist and so does AIDS, and that was all we had. So like, yikes. So the first kind of thing that I wanted to talk about was a lot of parents and that saying things like, oh, it's too young to teach about gender, and that, which it just really isn't. You know, you're teaching your kid about gender from the day they pop out. You know, what color are you painting the nursery, pink or blue? What kind of toys are you getting them? What type of clothes are you getting them? You're teaching them about gender, you're just not including, you know, other genders other than being, you know, a cis boy or girl. And, you know, some parents are like, well, I would rather be the one to teach my kid about that, which is great. Do it before the school does, because not every parent is going to teach their kid about gender. You know, I didn't know what non-binary was until I was 24 years old, and I'm non-binary. And it's not that I wasn't non-binary before that. You know, if you asked me like 5, 6 years ago, you know, what I thought about my gender, I would basically give you a very vague description of what being non-binary is without using any of the terms. But what it meant is that for that 2 decades or so, I was wondering, you know, why certain things didn't click with me, why, you know, if something was wrong with me, and other things like that. And especially because I got bullied for not being feminine enough, you know, both physically and verbally. And I could have been better equipped to handle all of that had I known. And so it's really important. And I know some people were talking about, oh, well, if I teach my kids about, you know, this other stuff, you know, is my kid gonna become trans? Are you gonna convert my child? And that's just not how it works. You know, being trans, being gay, any of that, it's not a choice. It's just who you were born to be. And, you know, if you're a cisgendered woman out in the audience and you didn't become a man because you learned what boys are, you know, like, y'all can relax. But, like, you know, don't relax too much. This next topic's a little heavy. So the next part that I just wanted to address was a lot of parents being concerned about kids not being outed by the school to their parents. You know, acting as if they're withholding information about, you know, their kid from them. But the thing is that it's just not about you. It's about the kid's personal safety. Not every parent is safe to come out to. I'm 26 years old. You know, I'm 26 years old and I'm not out to my dad because I don't feel safe doing so. You know, there are kids, I know people who have been disowned for being gay. You know, kids are still abused for, you know, being part of the LGBTQ community. You know, do you know when conversion therapy was banned in Oregon? Or how about Wisconsin? It's a trick question. It's still legal here. It's now legal as of 5 days ago for like medical professionals to do it, but that doesn't outlaw it as a practice. And so, you know, these things are important. And even if, you know, it's not as dramatic as keeping the kids safe, you know, it's still important for a kid to be able to go to an adult and talk to them about it without fear of being outed. Maybe they just want to talk to their parent about, you know, want to talk to them about coming out to their parent and make a game plan or whatever. And you shouldn't take that support away from kids just because you don't want to have, you know, that happen to you. You know, this is a really serious matter. And, you know, you can get over having a little bit of information kept from you, but a kid can't get over that trauma that easily. And so that is why it's just so important. And like coming out is just really hard. The more important that person is in your life, the harder they are to come out to. Because you are putting that relationship in some amount of risk, because you can't read minds and you don't know how people are going to react to you. And so you really need to have that support there for those kids. And that, you know, that counselor idea, like, also great for kids who just can't ever come out, you know, to their parents. So it keeps, you know, that support there for them. And I know a lot of this is a little dark, so I want to pivot and just talk to, you know, the LGBTQ kids of Oregon that are still students. And I want to let you know, it gets easier. You know, I love who I am and everything about it. And as you get older, you'll have more agency over the people that you keep in your life, and that you can grow and cultivate circles around you that will accept you for who you are. And if there's anyone in your life, whether they, you know, be the kid that happened to sit next to you in the 3rd grade, or, you know, a family member or what have you, and they make you feel, you know, lesser because of, you know, your sexual orientation, your gender, the color of your skin, you don't have to keep them around. If they make you feel like garbage for who you were born as, then you can take them out like the trash they are. And if you're a parent that's worried about what I'm saying, then you have a choice. You know, you can choose to support your kid, get their pronouns right, don't dead name them, educate yourself. I will teach you. June 16th, we have the Safe Zone project. I'm one of the co-facilitators. I will teach you that. So you have a choice, you know. Your kid didn't choose to be queer, but you can choose to support them or you can get out of their way.
All right, thank you, Kay. Next up is Joe.
Hi. My name is Joe, and I identify as non-binary. I didn't. I didn't always identify as that. I spent around 9 years feeling comfortable with she/her pronouns, and I never felt like trapped as that. I never felt like I had to be forced to be a she/her. And I don't know. I recently feel like they/them pronouns just make me feel more like myself and make me feel more comfortable. I'm talking about this because I think people should be able to be happy every day just with who they are and like how they identify in any part of their life. It's important to acknowledge that people are going to change no matter what, even if it's small. You're going to change, and no matter what, even if it's small, you're just gonna change. It could be hard, it could be not easy to understand, but you just have to keep being your most authentic self every single day, and to continue and continue loving yourself with unconditional love and support. People talk about respecting and accepting others' changes, and of course you should, but you have to respect and accept your own changes as well. Don't try to hide who you are or how you feel for any reason ever. Thank you for letting me share.
Great job, Joe. All right, next up is Leah.
Hi, my name is Leah, and thank you for attending Oregon's second Pride event. Super exciting. This is my first Pride event. Last year at this time, all I knew about the LGBTQ community was that it stood for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, and I didn't even know what the Q meant. So now this Pride Month, I'm out as a proud pansexual and demigirl, and a lot more educated and confident. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my personal experiences with coming out, queerphobia, and much more. I hope that learning more about what I've been through and experienced will help people who have been in or are in similar situations. I've experienced a lot of queerphobia directly and online. For those of you who don't know what queerphobia is, it's essentially the fear or hate of LGBTQ people. Queerphobia is not okay either way. It contributes to LGBTQ suicide and self-harm. Because of queerphobia, lesbian, gay, and bisexual youth are 4.5 times more likely to attempt suicide. But that's not all. I was on a certain social media platform for about a year and have since deleted my account due to the excessive amount of LGBTQ discrimination on the website. One thing that I noticed was that most of the comments that were hating against the community were religiously based. People would say things such as, your beliefs are not correct, or keep on with your sinful lives, or God said that marriage was meant for one man and one woman. This really ticks me off because while it's okay to believe what you believe, it's never okay to use your religion as an excuse to be homophobic. Remember, even if you're saying... Remember, even if you're saying those kind of things with no intention of harm, it is still homophobic. I've also had some experiences with queerphobia in school. I've received emails talking about how someone won't hang out with someone else because they're part of the LGBTQ community. Many people say these things electronically because they don't have the guts to say it to someone's face. But keep in mind that cyberbullying and discrimination online is just as terrible, if not worse, than harassing someone directly to their face and can get you in just as much trouble. Another issue is subconscious queerphobia. A lot of adults nowadays may say things such as "man up" or "she's such a tomboy" without even realizing that it can be extremely offensive. People also may tell you things such as, "You don't need to go announcing your allyship or membership of the LGBTQ community," or "You don't need to be obsessive about it," when that is a total exaggeration and we are just being who we are. You should be able to express yourself however you'd like to, and remember, there's no such thing as having too much pride. I know many people who have had to face being misgendered frequently and are not able to come out because it is unsafe to do so at home. I've been lucky to have a relatively supportive family and have been able to come out several times until I found what pronouns and labels best fit me. But if we can all be a little more supportive, many more people will be able to safely come out. When I was questioning my gender, it was really hard, and I went through a lot of depression and anxiety, sometimes even considering self-harm and suicide. Sorry. It really helped me to be able to talk to my therapist, so I definitely recommend that to anyone who is struggling. Remember, you don't have to have a label. You can question your gender and sexuality as much as you feel is necessary. No one is rushing you. If you are unsafe at home, please reach out to someone, whether it be a trusted adult outside of school, another family member or guardian, or a doctor or therapist, or contact a crisis hotline. Please also reach out if you are suicidal or considering self-harm. Remember, you are enough and the world needs you. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today. I dream that one day discrimination, depression, queerphobia, and all those other terrible words will just be specks in our rearview mirror. If we can create a safer, more welcoming environment for all, people can all come together and celebrate Pride without having a care in the world. Have fun today and enjoy the event, and thank you again for coming. Thank you.
Great job. All right, next we have Dr. Leslie Bergstrom is the Oregon School Superintendent. Leslie.
Hello, everybody. I want to start my brief remarks today with a thank you to the organizers of today's event. Gifting the community with this opportunity to show support for our LGBTQ plus neighbors and friends and relatives and colleagues and customers and our young people is something everyone here is very thankful for, and then having the opportunity to speak to you today I consider a privilege. Naturally, due to my role as an educator, I will speak about schools and the responsibility we have to our amazing students. I think we've seen some evidence of that in a few ways already today. And to our community. However, I will also speak about the fact that schools must be able to stand in partnership and in alignment with the community, as every single person in the community contributes to whether or not our young people, the people who we're here to talk about today, are LGBTQ plus young people, whether they feel accepted, loved, valued, and as an individual who brings so many gifts to our community. Every one of us has a responsibility in that. So while everybody here, everybody in the community plays a role in making that happen, I'll first focus on our schools, as educators are the adults responsible for ensuring that our LGBTQ plus students have a school experience that leaves them feeling seen, empowered, and healthy and whole. Educators have so much influence on students and how they see themselves and how they see one another. So many of us carry something in our hearts that was planted there by an educator. And either it could be the bloom of self-confidence or it could be the seeds of doubt. There is a lot of responsibility on our educators, on education in general. It's a heavy responsibility. And it feels even heavier on some days because of the world that's around us. However, in the Oregon School District, we feel the weight, but it doesn't weigh us down. We're very clear about what we believe, what we stand for, and what we value. It is really very simple, right? We stand for our students and their rights to feel safe and cared for and respected and irreplaceable parts of the school community. We believe in our students. Everyone who walks in our school doors brings something unique to them, a gift that they're bringing to all of us. And as educators, it's up to us to recognize it and to nurture it. And then finally, we value our students. We have the opportunity to listen to them, to truly listen to them and how they see the world, and hear them talk with and about one another with such kindness and empathy and acceptance. It inspires. So I want to say this with really, really great intention today to specifically to our LGBTQ plus students. We stand for you, we believe in you, and we value all that you are. You deserve a school that makes you feel like that every single day. But schools can't do this alone. Our community needs to stand for, believe in, and value our LGBTQ plus relatives and friends and colleagues and customers, and especially our young people. And today is a beautiful example of how that happens. So for all of those adults in the crowd, our future is in very good hands. The hearts and minds of our students are really unmatched. Sometimes we just need to follow their lead, right? And lead with love and empathy, and remain consistent and clear about what we believe in and stand for and value. Thank you all for being here today and for showing our students the support they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. So our next speakers are Dave Heidi and Ali.
Instead of having to adjust the mic for Ali, I'll just go like this. So this is perfect. So good to see all of you here. My name is Dave Heidi, and I own Liliana's, and I used to own Charlie's. There's the little empty space over there. And my restaurants were named after my kiddos, but now Charlie's is closed, and this is Charlie. And Liliana's, my kiddo, it goes by Ali, and they, them, their pronouns. So I have no restaurants named after my kiddos now, which is totally okay. Because we're just starting a new nonprofit called Little John's, and we're serving food, all pay what you can, so no matter what, people can have access to yummy, delicious food. And so please go and get some, it's delicious. But the thing I want to talk about is just how happy I am to be able to bring Ali to an event that's all about love and support and kindness. We've been at the state capitol 4 times now, and almost every single time has been to protest people who are trying to pass some really, really, really crappy laws that just are really hate laws against our amazing LGBTQIA communities. So I'm so happy they get to come to a fun one. So this is awesome. So I'm gonna give the mic over to Ali because they're way better at speaking than I am. And I just want to say thank you guys again so much for coming on out and supporting today.
Hi, I'm really happy to be here, and everyone who's spoken has had such meaningful things to say. and I am really happy to be at somewhere where it's all just about happiness and acceptance, because there is a lot to advocate for, and there still is, and there's so much to talk about and so much to do. And I love the fact that I have an amazing supportive family that makes it so that I can advocate for those who can't. I have started a board that can help minorities at my school. I advocate at protests whenever I can. I help the kids at my school who just don't have someone else to talk to. I always try my best, and I always try to listen to kids who don't have anyone to listen to them. But I know that there's so much more that everyone can help to do, including me. And today's just a great day, and Pride Month is such an amazing time because everyone just gets to lift each other up, and you know, it's great to ignore the crap that's happening. So I hope everyone has a great day and a great Pride Month. So thanks everyone for being here, and if you're queer, then you rock. And there are gonna be a lot of, hi Johnny. There are gonna be a lot of hard things to listen to, and if you're not, then there are a lot of hard things that you're still gonna have to listen to. But for anyone who has to listen to the terrible things being said, just know that you're better than anything anyone's ever gonna say, and that you rock.
All right, thank you. So our next speaker is Alexa, and I believe Alexa is going to sing for us.
Hi, everybody. So I am so happy to be here and that I have this opportunity to sing in front of everybody. And I know that Pride Month is all about celebrating everybody. And I know that sometimes, especially being a part of the bi community, sometimes there's a little biphobia that is surrounded inside of Pride Month that we don't always think about. And so I'm going to be singing Sweater Weather for all of my fellow bi friends out there. All I am is a man. I want the world in my hands. I hate the beach, but I stand in California with my toes in the sand. Use the sleeves of my sweater. Let's have an adventure. Head in the clouds, but my gravity's centered. Touch my neck, and I'll touch yours. You in those little high-waisted shorts. Oh, she knows what I think about, and what I think about. One love, two mouths, one love, one house. No shirt, no blouse, just us, you'll find out. Nothing that I wouldn't want to tell you about, no, 'cause it's too cold for you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. And if I may just take your breath away, I don't mind if it's not much to say. Sometimes the silence guides our minds to move to a place so far away. The goosebumps start to raise the minute that my left hand meets your waist. And then I watch your face, put my finger on your tongue, 'cause you love the taste, yeah. These hearts adore everyone the other beats hardest for. Inside this place is warm, outside it starts to pour. Coming down, one love, two mouths, one love, one house. No shirt, no blouse, just us, you'll find out. Nothing that I wouldn't want to tell you about, no, 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 'cause it's too cold for you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. Cold for you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. Whoa. 'cause it's too cold for you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. For you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. 'Cause it's too cold, it's too cold, the holes of my sweater. Thank you guys.
Thanks very much. All right, next up is Brian J. Brian J's up.
There is some serious bisexual like grooving going on back here. I'm just gonna let you all know. So it's delightful. So let me do that. So hey, good morning, everybody. Or wait, is it still morning? It's still morning. And happy Pride. My name is Brian J. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm one of the co-executive directors of GSAFE, a statewide organization just up the road in Madison, and we work with K-12 schools to make sure there are places where queer and trans youth know that they belong. Should also say my favorite colors are orange and brown, and I've been a professional gay person for the last 20 years. And then just a regular old boring gay person for 28 years before that. So it's so good to be here today in community with folks who love and affirm our queer and trans neighbors. Thank you for this strong and necessary event of love and affirmation. It's such a change from a week and a half ago when I, along with representatives from about 30 local and statewide organizations, were again just up the road at the Wisconsin State Capitol fighting off those 3 anti-trans bills seeking to ban trans girls from participating in school sports from kindergarten to college. As you might know, at least 100 bills in 26 states have been introduced this year targeting the health, well-being, and belonging of our trans and non-binary youth. Our youth are under attack, and events like these are critical and life-affirming to remind them that they belong and that they are loved. Sure. So a week and a half ago, when asked to point towards examples of trans girls who are dominating, let alone participating in sports in our state, not a single member of our legislature who is supporting these bills was able to actually name a student from Wisconsin, let alone their own district. Instead, they could only point to 2 athletes, 2 black trans girls in Connecticut, who in some cases won and in some cases lost the track races in which they participated, which tells me that this ban isn't just anti-trans, but it's also anti-black, and it's also anti-woman. Our country and school have a long history of seeking to regulate, police, and control the bodies of young women, especially black and brown girls. We don't have to applaud that because it's awful, right? So 2 numbers I shared during my testimony were the numbers 20 and 1. For 20 years, I've worked with school districts across Wisconsin to help make sure that schools are safe and affirming for queer and transgender youth. From the most progressive to the most conservative, from the most urban to the most rural, from the wealthiest to those least funded, from Milwaukee to La Crosse, from Bayfield to Beloit, I've worked with them all. And in those 20 years, I've only worked with 1 trans girl who tried really, really hard to participate with the rest of the girls on her team. And, much to her disappointment, current Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association policy effectively prevented her from playing, even though she really wanted to play. For those who don't know, for the last 6 or so years, WIAA has had a policy that states very clearly that it's not okay to discriminate against transgender athletes. But in reality, this policy creates incredible obstacles, nearly impossible for trans girls to clear. So for trans girls to participate in sanctioned sports in Wisconsin, they would have to have a supportive family, and that family would have to have insurance, and that insurance would have to cover trans-affirming health care and treatment, which very few plans do, and they would have to have access to a doctor knowledgeable about working with trans girls. And then that athlete would actually have to say, hey, yeah, I want medical treatment that's in aligned with the policy. On and on and on. So many challenges, so many costs. Trans youth who actually manage to clear all these hurdles actually deserve a medal just for managing to get to the starting line, let alone finishing the race. So, despite WIA policy saying it's designed to ensure the participation of trans girls, it's really designed to exclude trans girls, and that's not right. The people supporting these bad bills aren't interested in protecting girls and women's sports. If they did, they would be focused on providing greater resources, opportunities, funding, scholarships, and actually showing up to cheer on girls when they participate and compete in athletic activities. So they're not really interested in protecting girls at all. If so, they'd be protecting trans girls too, because trans girls are girls. Instead, they are committed to whipping their base up into a frenzy using stereotypes and lies. Their purpose is to stay in power and push a conservative agenda by creating boogeymen out of trans and non-binary people, trans girls and women in particular. And they've done this for a really long time. And we know it takes a mighty toll on our friends and loved ones and family members. But we can counter that, and we can do better. In fact, this community, Oregon, has a history of already doing so. In case you didn't know, Oregon was the first school district in Wisconsin to formally have a GSA at their high school level. And in all fairness, I should say it was Oregon and Middleton who started the first GSAs in 1996. But whenever I'm in Oregon, I say you all are first, and whenever I'm in Middleton, they're first, but it's really you. And also, in case you didn't know, Oregon was also one of the first school districts in our state to adopt trans-inclusive non-discrimination policies at the school level. And we did that with a group of students, community members, and educators, including Kelly Petrie, Lauren Lebwall, and other many wonderful folks just over here at the Firefly. So that's where that change happened. You should be proud to be among some of the earlier school districts in our state, although not the first, to teach students at all levels about gender diversity too, despite how much of a stink some aspiring school board and candidates and community members made about it this spring. Our trans and non-binary students are safer at school when they see themselves reflected in the lessons we teach. Our trans and non-binary students are more included when we actively talk about their stories and their lives. Our trans and non-binary students are more likely to feel like they belong when we treat athletes or athletics as a place where students are encouraged to bring their A game, when they're allies to each other, rather than their B game, being bullies or bystanders to harmful and exclusionary actions. And our cisgender students, those who aren't trans, benefit too. Learning about gender diverse people teaches them accurate information. It teaches them how to be respectful of differences. And it also prepares them for schools, jobs, and families they'll have in the future. It definitely doesn't make them gay or trans, but if they do come out later, that's awesome, right? So, in other words, it doesn't make them gay, but gay is amazing. So, Oregon has long done what is necessary and what is right to make your schools and community a welcoming and affirming place for all people. So keep teaching, Oregon, and keep striving for a community where everyone feels included. And to the trans and non-binary young folks here, remember that you are loved, you are brave, you are beautiful, and you absolutely belong. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brian. We found another student who wants to sing.
Oh, okay, it works. Can you hear the ukulele all right? Yeah. Cool. Okay, hi, I'm Nikki. I don't have a fancy speech to give or anything. I'm just going to be singing a couple of songs, and I'd like to thank, oh my God, Oregon Allies. That's what the organization is called. I'm very smart. I would like to thank them for organizing this event because it's really cool to see an event that like supports and celebrates queer people here in Oregon. It's just really cool. So yeah. Without further ado, my first song, which is cover of Rainbow by Dodie. I was brought up in a line when I seem to walk in circles. Oh, it's getting hard to navigate when every map was never made for me. And I thought it would feel good to understand why I was different. But my title just talks over me. I never even asked to be this way. But to say that I'm a rainbow, to tell me that I'm bright, when I'm so used to feeling wrong, well, it makes me feel alright. And I didn't think it fair. I was not to be trusted. Oh, how could I be proud of what everybody shouted that I'm not? So step inside my soul. I'd love to see you gasp. Oh, you'd understand in minutes. I like to think you'd miss it, 'cause so would I. Oh, to say that I'm a rainbow, to tell me that I'm bright, when I'm so used to feeling wrong, well, it makes me feel alright. Oh, to say that I'm a rainbow, to tell me that I'm bright, when I'm so used to feeling wrong, well, it makes me feel alright. The next, oh my gosh, I hope this works. The next song I'm going to be singing is Take Me to Church, and, oh, okay. Wait, hang on, can you restart it? I started a little, I was not prepared. Okay. Yeah, like this? Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. Yeah, so Take Me to Church by Hosier. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the backing track is actually a cover I did for orchestra class, and so it's a little bit scuffed, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. Thank you. All right, we can start it now. My lover's got humor. She's the giggle at a funeral. Knows
was everybody's disapproval. I should have worshipped her sooner. If the heavens ever did speak, she's the last true mouthpiece. Fresh poison each week, every Sunday's getting more bleak. We were born sick, you heard them say it. My church offers no absolute. She tells me worship in the bedroom. The only heaven that I'm sent to is when I'm alone with you. We were born sick, but I love it. Command me to be well. Amen. 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 Take me to church, I'll worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that deathless death and good God, let me give you my life. Take me to church, I'll worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that deathless death and good God, let me give you my life. If I'm a pagan of the good times, my love is the sunlight to keep the goddess on my side. She demands a sacrifice. Drain the whole sea, get something shiny, something meaty for the main course. That's a fine-looking high horse. What you got in the stable? We've a lot of starving faithful. That looks tasty, that looks plenty. This is hungry work. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that deathless death and good God, let me give you my life. Take me to church, I'll worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that deathless death and good God, let me give you my life. No masters or kings when the ritual begins. There is no sweeter innocence than our gentle sin. And in the madness and toil of that sad earthly scene, only then I am human, only then I am clean. Oh, oh, amen, amen, amen. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that deathless death and good God, let me give you my life. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that deathless death and good God, let me give you my life.
Okay, I'm really tall. Hi, I'm Coral Goplin. I'm part of the Oregon Allies, and this is the portion where I would love to invite anyone else who might want to come up and give us a couple of words about like their own experiences and like share what Pride means to them. We're happy to have you if you want to come on up and I can give you the mic. Also, a small silver wallet with ladybugs on it has been found, and I will be over here with that as well.
Hi, my name is Marie, and I just want to talk a little bit about how far we've come in the last 5 years. The subject that I want to talk about a little bit is trans healthcare. When I did my transitioning, I went to the Center for Sexual Health in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I went through a program that's known as WPATH, where they checked my mental health aggressively. It was 2 days worth of testing. And then I got to know them up there, and then they helped me to make an informed choice. But when I came back to Wisconsin, the health plan that I was with said they wouldn't support me or help me with a gender change at all. When I paid for my gender change, $27,500 plus another $10,000 in logistics to fly myself and a friend out to an extended stay in San Rafael, California. None of that was paid for 5 years ago. Now, okay, we're doing gender changes at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, at the hospital there. So when I look at how far we've come, not only are those gender changes covered, but also follow-up care is covered. And we actually have right now, the UW has at the Northeast Family Medical, has a team of people that specialize in gender care. That's really a long ways, because at the time that I went through the process, just when I came back, I had to fight before a board of lawyers and doctors write a speech to try to get people to light a candle for their children who might also be LGBT and who also at some time might need to transition. And it seems as though that's happened, and I'm appreciative of that. It's hopeful. So.
Bold color.
Hello, Oregon. My name is Madam Lacey, hers. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I'm so excited for you guys. I am an AFAB drag queen from Madison. Thank you. So if you have the opportunity to come to a drag show, we are just human. AFAB is an interesting type of drag queen because there's not a lot of AFAB individuals doing drag because we are actually discriminated within our own community. So things we have to keep doing to stop gatekeeping within our own community. If you don't know what AFAB means, that means I was assigned female at birth. So I identify as female, and most people who do drag are male. So that's why it's a little bit different. I didn't come out to my parents until I was 33. I am 34 because I didn't have such a wonderful community around me like you do here in Oregon. In my school, that's not very far away, of New Glarus, we don't have anything like this, or we didn't when I was growing up. And I only graduated 14 years ago from there. So if you think about that, we have come a long way. And remember, keep supporting your kids, because what I have seen today is those kids are all right, you guys. You should be so proud of your community and your schools. Thank you so much for coming today. Keep supporting Pride all year long. Thank you guys so much.
Hello. I am either Silas or Lavender or Amara, whatever name works for you. Pronoun she, her. And this is so absolutely spontaneous. I had not planned to sing a song, but there's a song that's been on my mind for quite a long time, and it is called No One's in the Room by Jessie Reyez. And it kind of just talks about, like, who are you when nobody else is here? Who are you when nobody else is influencing you? What do you stand for? And what type of person are you without people pushing their own personality onto you? So it's kind of about like that deep core, which reminds me of pride, because I feel like that's who we are at our deep core. And we may begin. I'd go to church every Sunday, but teenage love still took my virgin skin. And at the first night of time, I cried 'cause I thought heaven wouldn't let me in. Meanwhile, the priest has got a boyfriend, and lots of teachers smoke weed after school. And when you're young, they try to keep you in cages, but most of them don't follow their own rules. Spend your whole life being graded, being told I'm not enough, being told go find the one and sit and wait for death to come. But I don't want, I need to talk to God for some things I don't understand. Like, who am I when no one's in the room? Who am I? No one's in the room. Does the voice in my head that talks me off the ledge belong to me, or does it come from the clouds? Who am I when no one's in the room? Go to school and get a good job, just to work your life away and pay your debts. And even those who live their dreams, they'll cry, 'cause all that glitter's not what you expect. Sometimes I don't want to sing no more, set my throat and take my music back from evil men. They can put my body in the ocean so I can die, wearing a smile, maybe I'll find peace again. Spend my whole life being graded, being told I'm not enough, being told go find the one and sit and wait for death to come. But I don't want, I need to talk to God for these things I don't understand. Like, who am I when no one's in the room? Who am I? No one's in the room. Does the voice in my head that talks me off the ledge belong to me? Does it come from the clouds? Who am I? No one's in the room. Vices only pacify for the moment. Vices they made to hold the pain. Vices only pacify for the moment. Vices they made to hold the pain. Spend your whole life being graded, being told you're not enough, being told go sit and find the one and wait for death to come. But I don't want, I need to talk to God for these things I don't understand. Like, who am I when no one's in the room? Who am I? No one's in the room. Does the voice in my head that talks me off the ledge belong to me? Does it come from the clouds? Who am I? No one's in the room. Cool.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Oh. Thank you. I wrote a speech in 30 seconds, so this may not be the greatest thing ever. So my name is Lai. I use they, them, and he, him pronouns. And I just want to talk about my experience a little. I came out as pansexual in 7th grade, and now I'm not so sure about that label, but I also came out as non-binary about last year, and recently there's been some changes. As you can tell, I'm going by he, him too. Oops. I'm shaking. Thank you. Basically, my entire life has been amounted to womanhood, which is terrible. I do not enjoy that at all. And my mother, bless her soul, she's very accepting of sexuality, but she definitely pushes womanhood on me. And I just want to say thank you to all the speakers today, as even though they made me cry, they made me feel really inspired and felt really accepted in this community. And then I would like to thank Miss Winnicky, Miss Leibwall, my sister and cousin over there, and everyone in the district. Okay, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Hi, my name's Cal. My pronouns are he, him, and I first off just wanted to say how thankful I am that Oregon comes together so well as a community to support everybody. It's been amazing being here so far and hearing everybody's stories and how supportive everyone is. It's extremely inspiring, and it makes me extremely proud to be a part of this beautiful community. Not just the LGBTQ plus community, but the Oregon community. I am a trans bisexual man, and that's not been an easy discovery for me. It's been a long, confusing journey, but it's been worth every second of it. I have amazing people in my life who support me unconditionally, and people who push me in an extremely positive way to be myself and figure out who I am. And that process has been exhausting, but also a very relieving process to go through, because I finally feel like I can be me and I don't have to pretend to be anybody else. As a little kid, I was pretty feminine. And I'm still really feminine sometimes, but I used to have really long hair, and there used to be all these really feminine qualities about me. And my mom is the most supportive person in my entire life, but it was as much as a process for me as it was for her to realize that she doesn't have a little girl. And that was a struggle for me to watch, just as someone who's always been kind of a people pleaser. I've always wanted to make people happy, and watching other people find their happiness while I find mine has been difficult, but everyone's happy now, so that's great. But I just, again, wanted to thank everyone for coming out today and being so unconditionally supportive, and I hope everyone has a great time today.
Can I take it off? Sick. Hi, my name is Owen Dubree. I'm a trans male. I go by he, him pronouns, and I've never really been that feminine. You know, I've always had shortish hair. Never really liked girls, like played with them. They're weird. I've struggled with mental illness because of being trans, and it's really not a fun experience. I suffer with, forgot the diagnosis, but it's just something about dysphoria, and dysphoria is something that tears you apart until you literally have nothing left, which I am so grateful for everyone here, because you show me I can be me without having to fight this battle with my head. And I'm so very grateful that you all showed up today. I suffer from many mental illnesses, and it, along with the dysphoria, isn't a fun battle, but everyone makes it worth it as long as I walk up to somebody and they're smiling and I go, woo, like that's an accomplishment right there. everybody that has shown love and kindness to people within the community and not ask rude questions like, were you born a girl? Don't, just don't. It's not appropriate. But it's a struggle. It's a very hard fight, and I don't think I would be able to make the fight without the support of the community, my family, and others. Thank you all for the support.
All right, thank you to everyone who has spoken. So as we kind of close out the Allies portion of this, I'd just like to extend a few thank yous to Chief of Police and the Village of Oregon and the Village Board for all of their help reserving Triangle Park and closing these streets, to People's United Methodist for the tables that they loaned to us, and then to G-Safe and Briar Patch Youth Services, both of which are our preferred organizations, and you can donate to them today. There's information over at the Allies table. And then to some of the local businesses who gave donations, large donations, Kelly Petrie and the Maitri Center for Mindfulness, Kimberly, Lara Kimberly, there you go, with Heal Integrative Veterinary Center. I know I'm missing a couple, I apologize, but thank you to all the local businesses that have given. And then to Dave Heidi and Little John's, Morgan's Lemonade, Lane's Bakery, and the Cool Sweet Treats truck for coming and providing food. To local author Kristen Whitson and her co-author Jenny Calvitis, authors of We Will Always Be Here. They have a table over here. And then those involved from the Oregon School District. So Superintendent Dr. Leslie Bergstrom, all of the GSA students who have brought so much joy already, and they have more to offer here. And then to Kelly Allen, our favorite children's librarian, for offering resources. And now to close us out before the GSA students, I'll give it back to Randy.
I need my notes here. All right, so one thing I didn't say is I've been teaching psychology for over 15 years, and I'm fascinated by human behavior. And so I just want to end with a couple things that I wrote down. As human beings, everybody has the right to be true to themselves and be who they are. As human beings, everyone has a right to be happy. And then lastly, as human beings, everyone deserves love and respect. So that's kind of how I want to end. That's how I write a lot about human behavior, but everybody deserves to be happy, is what I guess I want to close out with. I think we have singing?
Yep, the GSAs are ready.
The GSAs are ready to sing.
Hello! We are now doing Seasons of Love to close this out because we felt like, well, love.
How are we gonna like do this?
Yes.
minutes, 525,000 moments so dear, 525,000